don't even know how to iron. You know what I mean? I don't know how it works. I know what you do. You know, I know the process. You know, you plug it into the lamp, and then you let it heat up. You get hot wrinkles. Then you get a little water in there, and then you shoot it. You know what I mean? It's supposed to, I don't know what that does. It just makes it wet. And then I try to dry that water. You can heat that water up, but it cools down pretty quick. You know what I mean? I got a new TV recently, and not from a hotel, from, it was a gift. It's been a long time since I upgraded, and I wanted to get rid of the old one, but I didn't want to throw it away, so I decided I would take it to Goodwill. And I showed up at Goodwill with this old TV, and the Goodwill guy was like, nah. He said, we don't take TVs like that anymore. But they did take it later that night when they were closed. Just drop that thing right off. I'm not getting rejected from Goodwill, you know what I'm telling you. Today, not any day. That's a gift. You don't turn down a gift. I had a guy come up to me after a show one time, a real muscular guy, and he was like, that happened to me too. He said, the Goodwill guy came out and he said, we don't take those anymore. And he was like, you won't take it right now, but you'll take it tonight. I was like, wow, that's a different approach. I think if I worked at Goodwill, I'd be like, you know what, I'll just take it right now. I'm not really sure what you mean by take it tonight. I'll just take it while the sun's out. So I dropped it off. I didn't get my receipt though, so we had to claim that on my taxes. It'd be a tough year. You ever do that? You drop off a bag of clothes at Goodwill and they're like, you want a receipt for that? I'm like, nah, I don't want proof I ever owned these clothes. It's like, you see what I'm wearing. Imagine what I'm giving away for free. Imagine what I'm too good for. Mm-hmm. I like to get picture frames at Goodwill. Sometimes you get a good deal in there. Sometimes you can get pictures of other people's family. I don't know how that happens. People are like, well, I'm done with this frame and this family. Yeah, they mean a lot to me, but not enough to bend a staple in the back. I don't have that kind of time. Can't be bending staples all day. I heard this guy on the street the other day. He was like, this year I bought all my presents online. Well, except for some of them. And I was like, well, that's why we invented the word most. That's a good joke. And it's a good joke. We're having a good time.
Well, I got more excited.
I like Goodwill. I got this hat at Goodwill. This hat changes me. A lot of people don't know that it changes me because you haven't seen me without it on, right? But if I take this hat off, you're like, oh man, I bet that guy likes rock music right there. If I put this hat on, you're like, nah, he's got a rock collection. If I take this hat off, you're like, man, that guy looks like the lead singer for the rock band Corn. If I put this hat on, you're like, nah, he grows corn. The corn farmer. If I take this hat off, you're like, man, I bet that guy smokes weed right there. If I put this hat on, you're like, nah, that guy definitely smokes weed. I mean, this hat can't change everything. It's not a magic hat. How many people thought my hair was attached to this hat? A lot of people think that. A lot of times people tell me I look like Forrest Gump after he ran for a long time. That's a good joke if it were 1995. And it's still, it holds. It holds. I like to wear this hat when I want to go into a store and just browse, you know? So the salesman sees me coming in, he's like, nope, I know you're just looking. Bathroom's right over there, just gotta wash your hands in there. Okay. We're having a good time. You think this hat changes me? You should see me without this beard. I shaved this beard one time. This girl came up to me and she was like, "Oh, I liked you better with the beard." Which is the exact same thing as saying, "I don't like the way your face looks." I'll see you in 2 months. Take that razor. I went to a flea market not too long ago. I love a good flea market, and thank you. And I was in there, and this lady had this great deal on DVDs. And I love DVDs. She had 3 DVDs for $5, and that's a good deal. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get 6 of these. That way, I get 6 for 10. 3 for 5, 2 times. Pretty easy. But I went up to this lady and I was like, "Yeah, I'd like to get these DVDs." She goes, "How many you got there?" I said 6. She said, "You know it's 3 for 5. I was like, "Yeah, 6 for 10. She goes, "Well, I guess." I was like, "Now this is your deal. It's just 3 for 5, 2 times." So I figure it's simple, right? I figure, hey, getting it for $10. But then I hear her back there doing math. She's going, as she closes her eyes. She goes, "All right, that'll be $15. I was like, "Listen, I'm not even trying to bargain with you right now. This is your deal. It's just 3 for 5, 2 times. If you want, I'll buy these 3, and then I'll take off this hat. And I'll buy these other 3. And that worked. You know what I mean? She didn't know how that second guy got there, but she sold him some DVDs. You know what I mean? Okay. When you hang out with a lot of broke people all the time, like I do, everything's always fancy to them. Like the other day, I was hanging out with my mom, and we were out to dinner, and she was like, "Oh, this is so fancy." And I was like, "Mom, it's Olive Garden. Of course it's fancy." That's a good joke. And you don't think it's going to be a good joke, and then you're like, "Oh, you know what? That is a good joke." And it's a good deal. It's your deal. I used to wait tables. I worked at a seafood restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina. A seafood restaurant called Hyman's. That's right. Which is located on the same block as a restaurant called Sticky Fingers. That's cool. Just telling you where it's at. And not everyone knows what a Hyman is, and that's okay. I didn't know what it was for a long time, but if you don't know, just go home tonight, look that up. Enjoy that joke on your own time. Just saying, it's a tight joke, and, okay, that is too far, and I'm sorry about it. Just don't forget, we're having a good time. There'll be times when you're like, I'm not sure if we're having a good time anymore, but I'll be here to let you know. But I used to work there, and it's owned by a family with the last name Hyman, and I was working in there one day, and this lady said to me, she goes, "Oh, are you one of the Hymans?" I was like, "Yeah, because they named me Dusty Hyman." I'm the oldest one, and no one will touch me. A lot of people would come in there and they would close the menu and they would go, "What's good?" I'm like, "Well, open this back up." It's all inside here. Call this the food menu, and we like to think it's all good. A lot of people like to pair up wines with food, you know, and that's cool. But sometimes they do it in weird situations. Like I had this guy, what wine do you recommend with the fried catfish? He's like, I don't know, Budweiser. But people come in there and they'll be in a real big hurry. They're like, can we be in and out of here in 30 minutes? I'm like, hell, you leave right now. Don't let me hold you up. Got stuff to do, I hear you. Some people think they're tricking you, you know, they're like, let me get a large glass of water, a lot of lemons, a lot of sugar. I'm like, you know we sell lemonade, right? I'm watching you. I see what you're doing. You get a lot of tourists in there, and that's cool, but they ask a lot of weird questions, you know, they're always like, what's something non-touristy we can do? Which I think's a weird question, because you're on vacation. You should do touristy things. But they're like, what's something non-touristy we can do? I'm like, I don't know, you can get in your car and go home. You know what I mean? That's the most non-touristy thing you can do. You can buy a house, you know what I mean? Just move on in. They're like, well, we want to do something the locals do. What's something the locals do? And I'm like, well, I'm local. Right now I'm at work. Guess I can get you a job. Hell, you can take my shift. Do something the tourists do. There's a lot of words you got to be careful. The other day I was like, obituary is one of those words. The other day I was on the street and I said that, and this lady was like, what'd you call me? I was like, you ain't nothing but an obituary. I heard this guy the other day, he was like, man, I live so close to that bar, it ain't even funny. And I thought, why would that be funny? He said, it's so cold outside right now, it ain't even funny. And I thought, has there ever been an appropriate temperature where you go outside and it's just hilarious? You're like, woo, had to come back in, catch my breath. It's just too funny out there right now. I was gonna go to the store and get us some snacks. I can't do it right now. Or wait till it cools down or heats up, one of the two, but the temperature it's at right now is just getting me right in the ear.
Alright, I thought it was imperative to do this video as quickly as possible, kind of springboarding off of my last video about Joshua, who was abused and violated by the Morgan County Sheriff's Office in Morgan County, Utah. A complete violation of this guy's rights. And if you were in the same shoes, they would have violated your rights. That's what puts the exclamation point on this whole thing. But I also want to show you that the Morgan County Sheriff's Office is so evil, and I do mean evil. They disregard so easily their oath of office. You know, one of those oaths is the First Amendment, to protect and preserve and defend the First Amendment, your right to freedom of speech, that they don't care what people have to say.
What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Correctivo.
Holy crap, that scared the crap out of me.
Well, I'm not watching 4.5 hours with a kid. These things are not that funny.
One of my mentors, Bill Ray, was one of the remote viewers too, and actually helped run the program for a little while as well. This guy.
Meet the press.
On Iran, the president said he's also considering secondary tariffs if Iran doesn't agree to a nuclear deal. Quote, if they don't...
She was disqualified. I think we can all agree that 3D printers...
Hi, I'm Zach. I feel pretty relaxed, but also like the floor is about to fall out from under me and I'm gonna start skydiving. It does seem like they're really going for it from what I've gathered from all the equipment around me.
Today, we're giving this comedian a total transformation. They have no idea who or what they're about to become.
I feel like I'm wearing one of those like airplane neck pillows.
Once they see themselves in the mirror, they'll have to make up a character on the spot and then sit down with me for an improvised interview. This is very important, people.
I don't know what I'm holding now. Are they hooves? Oh my God. I thought I was like a bull. This is so scary. I feel so grossed out. Oh, I didn't even notice my tiny ears. That makes so much sense. I've been going around talking to people and going like, by the way, I basically can't hear. Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're gonna be lifting and we're gonna get huge. Can you believe it? My hands used to be this small. Hey guys, I'm Tanner and I'm 12 years old. My mom says I'm starting puberty. Mr. President, the asteroid's gonna hit in 17 minutes. Circle up. Presidential fitness test is coming right up. Use my protein. I guarantee you will be sweating out all the toxins in your body and you'll feel good about yourself. I have depression. I'm a normal guy and I'm here to tell you that being mentally healthy is cool.
We all have a story, and some stories need to be shared with the world. Good evening, I'm Vic Michaelis, back with another edition of Very Important.
Can I get a little clap? Can I get a little clap? Can I get a little clap? Can I get a little clap?
You're lying and you have this thing on your chest.
We are going to be looking at some disturbing videos, strange and odd news stories, and as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video.
He said he could.
Those of you who have daughters,
I know a lot about dating because I watch a lot of dates. That sounds creepy. I host a dating show. So I've learned a lot about men and women and their interactions. And one important thing that I've learned is that when you like someone and you want to impress them, what do? You lie. You have to. Because if people knew how weird you were in your off time, no one would have you. Guy says to you, what do you like to do for fun? Girls, you can't be honest. You can't be honest about that shit. You can't be honest about what you were doing 10 minutes before you came to the door. You have to lie. What do you like to do for fun? You can't tell him. You can't be like, I really enjoy choreographing naked cheerleading routines to old Britney Spears CDs, and then I Google a bunch of hentai porn, masturbate, don't wash my hands, Facebook stalk my ex-boyfriend and his ex-girlfriends, jot down their place of employment for future reference, and then I go bake some cookies, and then I mouth kiss my dog and promise her that one day she'll be my wife. You can't say that. 9 times out of 10, guy asks a girl, what do you like to do for fun? The girl's answer will be, hiking. I love hiking. I do, don't I? I do. I love hiking. I do. Hiking's... I love hiking. I do. I love it. I love hiking. No, you don't. Stop lying. You don't like... Really, Stacy? You like hiking? Where are your trail spikes? Where's your walking stick? Where's your lesbian mountain partner? You don't like hiking. You don't even know what hiking is. Most modern girls don't really know what hiking is, okay? To the average girl, hiking is you wake up whenever you want, you put on Lululemon yoga pants because they make your butt look unreasonably good, as they should for $800. And you go for a walk in the park with your best friend and complain about how hungover you are. That's hiking. Yeah, I do it too. Promise you this, girls, it's not a sport if you can drink a Starbucks and have a pita while you're doing it.
Do you want a piece of pita? Hiking.
But there's a method to our madness. There's a reason women say hiking. We say hiking because we think guys like hiking. That's why we're doing it. Be outside where the bugs are? No. I think you like that. We're taught to believe that men are outdoorsy and rugged and they like nature. As far as we're concerned, you're the closest thing we know to a bear. So we say hiking hoping to have something in common with you. We honestly say hiking hoping that you'll be like, you like hiking? I like hiking. Marry me. It's the easiest thing you can say that you do. It's one of the only outdoor activities that you can lie and say that you do it, having never done it before, and then do it and pull it off because it's walking. You can't pull that off. You shouldn't be mating with anyone. Most outdoor activities require a decent amount of skill. For example, you can't say you like rock climbing if you've never been rock climbing. I mean, you can, but I promise you this, you're gonna go, you're gonna slip, you're gonna get your hand caught in a rock. 127 hours later. Stump's not getting you a second date, I promise you that.
Fine, screw it. We'll do a Joe Rogan episode. I mean, I don't want to, but when do we ever get to do what I want? If it were up to me, every episode would be an in-depth analysis of sitting in a quiet, dark room. Unfortunately, I can't leave this chair, and I don't even know where the light switch is. So, let's go! Here's some stupid news. Joseph Robinette Rogan. He hosts one of the most popular podcasts in the world, earning multiple nine-figure deals from Spotify. He's wildly influential, may have even won the election for Trump, ? As even apparently Trump himself has whispered to Rogan.
What's up, guys?
Think about what happened during COVID, and there were all these.
Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
Idiocracy follows Joe Bowers, an average army librarian who gets chosen for a year-long hibernation experiment along.
You are living in a controlled illusion. Your thoughts are not your own. The system keeps you blind, feeding.
I love Contact in the Desert. You know, I think of it sort of like...
This video was made possible by...
Alright, helping people move into a new house.
This Saturday will mark...
Looks like we have a new Chinese company that is releasing a game-changing AI breakthrough. This is a manus alternative that is free, no waitlist, and no delays. Just pure autonomous power. And this is where I would like to introduce GenSpark Super Agent, the ultimate AI assistant that thinks, plans, acts, and uses tools completely on its own. This is not your average AI tool. This is something that is an all-in-one general AI agent built to handle everyday tasks with speed and precision, from planning your day to building full-stack apps for you. For example, just in a single prompt, GenSpark was able to generate this entire Mercedes website completely for free on its own with a clean UI and with functional input fields in seconds. No templates, no code, just intelligence. GenSpark Super Agent is a fast and dependable general AI assistant designed to deliver near-instant results, much like a typical search or chat experience. But what sets it apart is its reliability, which is minimizing errors and hallucination during task execution. It's also highly steerable, which is going to give you full control to guide and adjust its outputs until they align perfectly with your needs. If you have not already, make sure you take a look at the second channel, because this is where I'm going to be posting a lot more on a daily basis on what's happening in the AI space with underrated models, new tools, new large language models. So definitely give this a follow. On pure performance, this AI agent is remarkable, and it is even outcompeting Manus AI on GAIA benchmark. You can see right here that the GenSpark agent is outcompeting Manus with a single percentage, and in almost other benchmarks on different levels, it outcompetes OpenAI's deep research and previous state-of-the-art benchmarks. So how does this function? Well, this is thanks to a mixture of agent system where they have about several different large language models. They combine top tier models, 9 different sized. They have different in-house toolsets, 80 plus, as well as in-house datasets with 10 premium datasets distilled from the internet to make these agents functional and tailored to tackle any task. Before we get started, I just want to mention that you should definitely go ahead and...
Most individuals are unaware that something significant is about to happen. The 44...
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash.
I have a strong belief that humanity is trying to...
Masterminds.
That's Ramona Flowers right there. You're probably curious why I'm bringing up Ramona Flowers in the beginning of the video, but I believe some context is required before I begin this entire rant. So let's start from the very beginning. Ramona Flowers appeared to many people in their lives at a moment of their hopeless weakness in their adolescence, and they got introduced to Ramona Flowers right here, but after that they got introduced to Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim was a manipulative, toxic, horrible liar who stayed with his homosexual roommate named Wallace. Why is that important? Well, Wallace would never in any capacity lay down with Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim was that unattainable and that just disgusting to him. It was nasty. Unattainable in the aspect of, oh, not that I can't get him, it's the fact that I have no interest in this human being. Now, if you know gay men, and I know gay men, if you've ever been on Grindr, you know that that's almost unheard of. Deeply, it's almost unheard of to have that happen. So, Scott Pilgrim, manipulative and dating a high schooler who was 17, 16, Knives Chow, however old Knives was. That is exactly what he was doing. He cheated on her. He cheated on her and then hid that fact the entire way through from Ramona Flowers. Ramona Flowers then discovered that Scott Pilgrim cheated on Knives. That's what happened. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, whoa, that's weird. Why did Ramona still stay with Scott? Didn't they get together in the end? Correct. They did get together in the end. And it's important to point out this fact of the matter, they got together in the end. Scott and Ramona got together in the end. Mostly because no one wants to talk about how evil Ramona Flowers was. Ramona Flowers was a bad person. Ramona Flowers had 7 evil exes, and she had avoided attachment issues where she left all the time, and she ended up going back to her ex, Gideon right here, because of the power and bond they had. It was disgusting. She was a victim of trauma, is many people's take on this. But I want to point this out. Scott and Ramona were bad people. That was the point of the movie, to show that Scott and Ramona are bad people. It was also to show you what to avoid when looking for people. However, this had the opposite effect. Ramona Flowers had different colored hair every single time, and a lot of women took this to heart and said, wow, every time I mentally have a change in my life, I'm going to change my hair color as well. As if they are channeling Ramona Flowers in each aspect. And all the manipulative, toxic men saw that as a beacon, a mating call, in order to get with women with colored hair, septum piercings, tattoos, or something of that variety, in order to manipulate them, become their FP, and then this became what to me was mentally unstable women changing the world. There's a specific scene in Drake and Josh where 2 goth girls are fighting over Drake, and this was played up as a joke where everybody was saying, whoa, that's messed up, man. That's evil. Why would he want to be with 2 goth girls? They're so weird. They're so yucky. Nowadays, those very same people that were making fun of those goth girls are now vying for their attention, praying in their inbox that they'll give them the chance of day. As if a Republican experimenting on Grindr, they're trying to experiment with goth women and women with mental instability in order to make themselves feel great, in order to make themselves get out of the norm, because they now realize how big the world is. Back in the day, we didn't know how many people there were on the earth. We only had our local people. You would get with your high school sweetheart, and even then you really didn't trust the internet because the internet was for nerds. Nerds like the internet. That's weak. That's why sometimes you'll see a really nerdy guy with a very hot goth woman. Why is that? Because those nerds were there, round zero, on IMVU, on Club Penguin, grooming them. That's what happened. You know, that's the entire thing. I don't trust men entirely. I just don't trust men. Anyways, that's the important part of what it was. That's what happened. And a lot of people don't understand how these mentally unstable women changed how men viewed the earth, how they shook the entire world, how they had it in the clutches of what is now known as what I like to call the IBS effect. If you don't know what IBS is, it's irritable bowel syndrome. And because you have IBS, it makes your organs a little bit closer to each other. That's part of the consequence of IBS. And that makes the grip a little bit tighter. That's why a lot of beautiful, beautiful women have IBS. They drink 2 coffees every morning, then somehow go to sleep after drinking that coffee. They have a septum piercing, or maybe a nose ring, or maybe a tattoo of some sort. And then they'll find the most horrible, evil man on the planet, the most racist League of Legends player, just the worst Apex player, the Call of Duty guy, and they'll see something in them that they don't have in themselves, or something they had in their past when they thought they were a bad person. And to prove their worth on this planet, their motherly instincts kick in inside of their body. And they say to themselves, you know what? I have an idea. What I'm going to do is change this man. I'm going to be empathetic. And they coin themselves as empaths, when in reality, they're being manipulated by a narcissist, and that narcissist, those traits will rub off on them. So they'll end up becoming covert narcissists in turn. And that's a pipeline no one ever wants to talk about. No one ever wants to talk about that. Small little pipeline. No one ever wants to talk about that. And all these men that now see them as easy pickings, daddy issue women, going through, and they'll say, you know what? I'm going to get one of those. Low effort, low maintenance. All she cares about is if somebody gives her the bare minimum. And sometimes not even that, because her ex broke her and the bar is in hell. The bar is so far in hell that Satan is doing pull-ups with it, and he's showing you his gains, and you're actually rubbing his muscles, and you're falling for Satan now. You're falling for Satan because the bar is below him. The bar is below him now. It's in hollow earth, which isn't real, by the way. Despite the fact that Godzilla and King Kong have created a whole new series of hollow earth believers. I'm not even going to get on that. However, this is a big issue for me because people aren't grasping the bigger issue of what this means for the world. You see, I've always loved how people can get manipulated very easily. I've always loved the aspect of how people think to themselves, I'm above all this. I'm above all that. I'm not going to get manipulated. I'm not going to get confused. I'm not going to doom scroll. And then you'll see one woman on Instagram, the best dating app, by the way. And then you'll see one woman on Instagram and say, whoa, she's wearing black lipstick. Is she in a clown fit? Is she a clown? And you'll message her hopelessly. And it will change your brain chemistry forever. And you'll be at their mercy, at their whim. You'll be giving your entire bank account to them, and you'll be ruining your life for no reason. Why will you be doing this? Because you feel like it. Because it's the only thing you know how to do. It's because you go back to that Scott Pilgrim, and you think to yourself, well, I'm better than those 7 evil exes. That's right. Those 7 evil exes ruined her mind so deeply that Matt, Philip, Dimitri, Eric, all those basic men have ruined her so deeply that the instant you do anything, you're immediately top of the totem pole until her ex comes back. Her ex comes back and says, don't know if you'll read this, but a message starts like that, she's leaving you. And it's women like those that have irreparably shaped the entire world to their whim and their bidding. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does this mean we hate women? Wrong. We love women. Because it's not a woman issue that happened. Notice how in the beginning, Ramona was fine. Okay. What happened was everything around her. It was her environment. I'm not blaming men. However, men don't make it easy. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, are you white knighting? Nope. I'm one of the 7 evil exes. I'm Gideon. I'm the person she comes back to. I'm him. That's me. I'm the guy. Why am I telling you this? Because they have changed everything. The landscape is different. The meta is shooken up. You don't want to accept this. You don't want to believe that everything's changing to and fro. But people back in the day that used to insult you and bully those women back in the class reading Black Butler and Rosario Vampire, and they're having a horrible time, and the one girl getting a fairy tale tattoo, and now all the girls that used to insult the other girls, all the moms that used to insult those women, those narcissistic mothers that hated their daughters because their dad liked the daughter too much, and then the dad did something to the daughter, and then they now have irreparable trauma for the rest of their lives because of that happening. And then the mom blames the daughter for what the dad did. The dad gets off completely scot-free, and the girl has irreparable dad issues because of that. And that's horrible because there's no active man in her life. And now she has irreparable kinks developed because of the trauma she instilled inside of her soul from that encounter with her father. And now she calls you daddy because she wants an actual father figure in your life. And you enjoy it because you want to be just like your dad. And that's a whole bag of worms that you got to open up now and talk to your therapist. But you think therapy is for the weak. You say to yourself, oh, therapy's for cowards. I'm not going to go to therapy. She goes to therapy and she learns therapy language and uses it against you. So you get mad, you get angry, you get messed up. You say to yourself, I'm not going to learn this therapy language. You're getting manipulated by them. And now she thinks she's getting manipulated by her therapist. So she stops going to therapy, and you have successfully cast her off from life. All of her friends hate her now, and they think she's a bad person, and they're blaming her when they don't know the reality of the situation until she makes that long Twitter post or that long Facebook post about how the bad things where she has screenshots, and nobody cares about the screenshots because they don't care about the small little situation, and it doesn't get any traction, and you're able to manipulate your way out of the situation, and you're able to win, and you're able to date her friends, and her friends hate her because you're able to twist the story because you actually don't have screenshots, and they don't have her on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, so they don't see the reality of what you've done to her, and now you're destroying her entire life, and now she has no friends, and she's now called crazy, so she changes her hair color because another traumatic event happened in her life, and you're now one of the evil exes, and you're legitimately evil, and that's the best part. You don't care. You don't care. And now, the symbolic nature of what happens, the next guy has to repair the damage that you've done until you eventually come back. Messenger and say, I know you won't read this, but she leaves the good guy, and the good guy ends up hating women because of that one experience with that colored hair, mentally unstable woman. That's right. BPD girly. If you encounter a woman who takes this in stride, though, if you encounter a woman that says to themselves, oh, I'm actually crazy. I'll slash your tires. I'll do this. I'll do that. Leave them. As a matter of fact, that's not something to brag about. That's disgusting. You're a single mom. Why are you bragging about that? That's disgusting. That's the worst thing you could possibly ever do. Don't ever brag about that. That's not something to take in stride or have any pride in. That's something to say, I need to change and become better. But no, I'm seeing this nowadays where people say, you don't want to mess with me. I'm crazy. I'm this. I'm that. That's horrible. The worst thing you could possibly do. That's nasty. That's messed up. Why would you want to become that evil, vitriolic being that you think is cute and quirky? I have BPD, so it grips. I have IBS, so it grips, which is partially true scientifically. I have this, so it grips. I have all. So it grips, which is partially true scientifically. I have this, so it grips. I have autism, so they have that, special needs grip. I've heard that statement too. Every single thing I've witnessed within the diaspora, the zeitgeist of the nonsense that's happening, whether it be on TikTok or Instagram, where we're championing, we're putting them as champions, we're pedestaling these people who say being crazy is okay. Being crazy is not okay. Being mentally sound and stable is better. However, the world has changed. Crazy is now good. Crazy is now accepted. There's a community around it. And you shouldn't hate yourself if you're crazy. You can acknowledge the issue and change it. All I'm seeing is people say, well, I have BPD, I have DID, I have PID or EIE, YEI, EIEIO, and my old farmer had a farm, and they're just saying they're having these terms, And they're using therapy language without doing therapy. That's all they're doing. They're just looking at the words, learning the definitions of these words, and then proceeding to do nothing with that information. Nothing at all. They're simply saying to themselves, well, I have the diagnosis, I got it from TikTok. And I went to a place and they put me on SSRIs, but I don't take them, I just have them. And I have the Wellbutrin, and I have the Risperdal, or whatever it is, any antipsychotic or whatever is going on. My wife's on one right now, so it's the first thing that popped in my mind. There's other ones too that limit your serotonin or make you feel like you're a zombie. You don't want to take those because it makes you feel less. You adopt these disgusting, evil, toxic mind traits from people around you in order to feel more like a person. In order to not hate yourself, you end up making all the toxic traits what you really are. You say to yourself, well, I'm not just this. I am my toxic traits. I am my bad parts. I want to tell you something very important. A lot of people will look in the mirror and say, hey, that's not you. That's not you. Wrong. It is you. It's the product you've become. It's the product of your environment. You got to deal with yourself. You can't keep dissociating all the time and not deal with yourself. That's disgusting. Deal with yourself. Be a person. Exist in this reality for 10 seconds and deal with yourself. Oh, I can't do this because I'm just a girl. Wrong. You can do it. You can do it, and I'm sick of you saying you can't. You've changed the world forever. You've ruined it. You completely destroyed it and dismantled it and smashed it on its head and beat it up and chewed it up and spit it out, and you've ruined everything about it. Why have you done this? That's because they attacked me first. Are you 3 years old? When someone hits you, what do? Well, you can hit them back. Wrong. It's not how it works. It's not how the real world works. Someone hits you, you don't hit them back. Then a fight breaks out. Now both of you are damaged for no reason. Someone hits you, be the bigger person. I'm sick of being a bigger person. Okay. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. Doesn't mean it's not the better option. Doesn't matter if you don't like it. Healthy is not attractive. It never has been. You like that guy that smokes cigarettes. You like that guy that drinks Monster Energy drinks. You like that guy with long hair that doesn't wash it. You like the guy with horrible skincare and doesn't wash his sheets. He's not healthy, but he's very attractive. You like the guy that yells because you feel like he protects you. It's not healthy, but it's very attractive. You enjoy that. You like the guy with gum disease for some odd reason. He chews on tobacco. You like the guy that plays League of Legends. That's not healthy, but it's attractive. It's attractive, isn't it? Those narcissists are really attractive. I need a man that, no you don't. What you need is to fix yourself first. Become somebody worth dating. And the men too. This ain't just bashing women. Talk about you too, men. The video coming for you next, soon. It's an issue. It's a big issue going on. And I hate it. Mentally unstable women have changed the world. I don't want to change it back either. Just do better. Just do better. Just do better.
I realize you go higher.
This scumbag IRL streamer was just arrested in the Philippines.
Pierce piercing the night with a deafening roar. At least 17 strikes reported in Sada and Amran. The Houthis' Ansarullah website said the aggressive air raids caused material damage to citizens' property, but gave no details of casualties. In line with their general approach, downplaying their losses and exaggerating their attacks. In the latest, the group claimed to have targeted U.S. warships and an aircraft in the Red Sea, as well as military targets in Israel. The group's spokesperson, Yahya Saria, said in the televised statement that their missile forces, drone air force, and naval forces carried out a joint military.
Hi, folks.
Please make a lot of noise for Trey Kraft.
People have no idea how crazy things are about.
Have you ever suspected that women have an easier time on dating apps? Well, we're going to take a look at this kind authors to the...
INFJs,
What's up, guys? Mizzo Frizzo from Pitch.
Mate, I'm super excited to show you.
Hello.
Mate, I'm super excited to show you my own little UFO that came to visit, okay? And we saw it live, didn't we, mate? There was 2,800 of you watching this thing live as it happened. It was absolutely amazing. And not just one, multiple. Loads of really weird, strange anomalies happened on our live stream the other day. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips. But I also want to show you some other UFO footage that I've captured, managed to source and stuff. People are tagging me. Thank you so much, mate, as always. I really do appreciate it. The other day, I saw, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I saw somebody mention me on X, and they said like, oh, we've sent loads to Casper site, and
you know, Handful, I feel pretty crummy.
AI is getting really scary now, because nothing about me is real. This face, this voice.
How cops trick people into letting them search.
Like, some people really like.
Your change.
Hello, Spock. Nice to meet you. I'm you, 30 years older, from the future. How did you get here? Through a black hole. Listen, in 10 years, you'll fight against an evil Klingon named Chlor, all right? And you'll swing his bat left to the right. So dodge left, and you will avoid spending a week in the hospital. Oh, thank you. Oh, and also in about 7 years, DJ Zamora will release a greatest hits album, and it's awesome, so you should definitely get that. Okay, but then 2 years after that, they're going to release a DJ Zamora compilation album. And even though it has a different cover, it has all the same songs, so don't buy it, all right? Not life-threatening, per se, but good to know. Do not go down that hallway. Who are you? I'm you 5 minutes in the future. 3 minutes from now, Kirk is going to drop a monumental deuce in the hallway bathroom. Sure. And it's going to smell really, really bad. Trust me. So, just maybe take another hallway. Okay, thanks. Spock, who are you? My sister? No, I'm you, Spock.